Hi folks, and welcome to the first week of our accelerated online general psychology course. And I've started up at the announcements page where I have our weekly announcement posted for you. And I'll do this each week, a brief summary of what we'll review and then all of the various tasks that you have to complete. And as you look at this, you may think, wow, that's a lot of things that I have to get done this week. And indeed, there are a number of tasks that you have to complete. It is accelerated. And then also just the virtue of it being online. There are many things that you might normally accomplish during a 3-hour class meeting that you're going to be doing online. But I'll also say that I think the listing of everything you need to get done, it seems a little bit daunting, but it includes things like, well, this is reviewing the syllabus, reading the textbook, signing up for projects. And so this is not maybe as much work as it looks initially. So what I want to do is to take you over to the learning materials. This is where you'll go every week to identify what needs to be accomplished for the week. So on the top of the folder, you can see all of our learning objectives. What we're going to be focusing on this week are definitely with some scientific method, and that's where I'll take you first. And then we'll also be reviewing some issues of culture and gender. All right, so when we open up the week, at the top here you have a reading guide, and what this reviews are the various objectives for the reading. And I look at these as essentially like a set of short essay questions that you should be able to answer after you review that portion of the textbook. The next thing that will help you prepare for the assessments for this week are the 3 videos that I have included. The first 2 have to do with research methods. So here is our friend Hank, and he is reviewing the materials, and his review of this topic on psych research, it basically follows your textbook. He talks fast, but you can always pause and rewind. And I think he does a really nice job of reviewing key concepts. One area, though, that I think it's important for you to take a closer look at is better understanding what a correlation involves. So a correlation is looking at how 2 factors are associated with each other, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the one factor causes a change in the other. And so the Khan Academy, which is really great for videos on just about all topics, does a great job of reviewing that distinction. The other video that you'll be reviewing has to do with gender. And this video does a great job of addressing the distinctions between biological sex, gender identity, which is what you feel like inside, and gender expression, which is how we express our masculinity and our femininity. Now we come back up to the week 1 content folder. The next thing you'll look at is the weekly discussion board. So every week your group will engage in discussion with one another about a set of topics. For this week, the issues are how culture and gender influences us. Now to accomplish this discussion board, you will make use of this Google presentation, and let me open it up here. All right, so when you click on that culture and gender discussion board title, it'll open this up. You'll click on this, and it will open up this Google presentation. It'll take a minute to load. And what I've done here is that each slide of this presentation, it's essentially like a PowerPoint presentation. Each slide provides a slightly different or a very different topic. The first 4 topics all relate to culture. The next 3 or 4 all relate to gender. So each individual within a group, each one of you will choose one of these topics. So this means you really should look through all of them and find out which one is most interesting to you. And so I have listed on the slide what you are expected to discuss as it relates to this topic. So you might choose personally that you want to cover the considerations of co-sleeping. So I've provided you with some resources that you can use, and then this summarizes what you would be discussing in your post. Or maybe you go through and you decide you want to cover this issue with gender, role of toy marketing. So again, I've explained what you need to address, and I've provided you with a resource. All right, so I've come back to the content folder, and so I'll just summarize what's listed right here. An important thing to note is for every single week, the initial post, your primary contribution, needs to be submitted by Thursday evening around 8 p.m. This ensures that everybody in your group will have 3 solid days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, to engage with the posts that everyone has provided. After that, you're expected to provide 2 responses. Each one of your responses should be 100 words, and the post that you do should be at least 250 words. You want to make sure that your post addresses the required topic as it's laid out in that Google presentation. You also want to make sure that your post addresses one or more of the resources that were provided. So that might be a textbook reading, it might be that video, or it could be the resources that I provided to you as part of the Google presentation. In order to access the discussion board, click on the title here. And it takes you to groups, and since I'm the instructor, I can see all of the groups. You'll just see one, so I'll click on Bikers here. And then go to Group Discussion Board, and you will see your weeks listed right here. And if you need more information on how to engage with the Group Discussion Board, you can absolutely go to the shorter video that I have provided in the Syllabus and Resources area. All right, coming back to the learning materials, in addition to the graded assessment that you need to be doing for the group discussion board, and I'll be grading again your post as well as the quality of your 2 responses, you're also expected over the week to collaborate with your group on a wiki page related to research methods. So what you're going to be doing is examining several different approaches to testing a particular research question. So I'm going to open up this activity right here that you will also need to open up so that you can better understand the assignment. The research question here is, does sugar impact a change in hyperactivity in kids? And so I have written up 3 different types of research methods. The first one, study A, is a survey. Study B is a correlational design, and then study C is an experimental research design. And for each A, B, and C, I have provided a set of questions in bold. These same questions will show up on the wiki page, as I will show you shortly. What you need to do by Thursday night is provide an answer to one of the questions in A, as well as one of the questions in B, as well as one of the questions in C. So you want to make sure that you write your name next to your answer. And it may be that somebody has already given an answer in number 1, but you feel like you can improve upon it. Then you can write it in there as well. But if you look at number 1 and somebody's written a perfectly good answer and you agree with it, then I strongly encourage you to go ahead and answer one of the other questions in that same section, A, B, or C. All right then, how do you actually access the wiki and engage with it? Well, you'll go ahead and click here. Again, that'll take you to the group page. And so you will click on your group name. And this time you will click on Group Wiki. And when it opens up, you will see that the Methods Wiki shows up over here. You can see it both showing up right here, but then it's also, sometimes you have to actually select it over here on the side. All right, so the Methods Wiki lists this, just a brief summary, and then all of those questions, the 2 questions from Study A, the 5 questions from Study B, and the 6 questions from Study C. So again, each one of you by Thursday night needs to provide your best answer for one of the questions in A, one of the questions in B, and one of the questions in C. So to do that, you'll click on Edit Wiki Content. Then you will enter your answer here, and make sure you write your name either at the beginning or at the end of each one of your responses, because the way that I'll be assessing is for the overall quality of the group's answers to this wiki page. So how many correct answers do you have? What's the overall quality? But then I'll also be looking at individual contribution. So if your group did a stellar job, but you only answered one of the questions, obviously you're not going to get full credit. Or if maybe your group did not do a great job, but doggone it, you really gave your best answers to as many questions as a person could reasonably be expected to answer, then you would score very well. Once you are finished answering your questions, you'll go ahead and hit Submit. Now, I encourage you to check back to the wiki multiple times. So you'll post at least one answer to A, one to B, one to C by Thursday night, but I'll go ahead and be giving feedback throughout the week. So it would be a wise idea to check back, and anything where I have asked for additional information or I've indicated that it's incorrect, you want to go back in and address those issues. Each time hitting submit when you're finished. All right, so far I've talked about the discussion board, talked about the wiki, and then every week you will also have a quiz. This quiz you can take it 2 times. This is true for all weeks, and the average of your scores will be kept. This is open book and open notes. It just focuses on the material from this week, including information that are found in the videos. The quiz you are expected to do individually without help from anybody else in the class or anybody else you know for that matter. So those are your big 3 graded assignments: the quiz, the wiki, and the discussion board. The first 2 here, discussion board and wiki, are collaborative. Obviously the quiz is not. Now, in addition to doing that, you're also expected to select project topics. So you have 2 big projects: the Understanding Psych Research Wiki presentation and the Walk in Their Shoes paper that you're completing. So what you'll do is, again, you're going to go to your group page, open up the wiki page, and then you're going to go ahead and select the particular project that you are signing up for. So you have the UPR and you have the Walk in Their Shoes. So what you would do is, again, open up the wiki, edit the wiki content, and enter in your name. You can see one person's already entered in her name right here. Once you've entered in your name, you want to make sure that you hit submit. Now, the last thing for this week is that I'm providing a sample of the Understanding Psych Research presentation. So you will sign up for a project topic when you go into this wiki up here for select project topics. You're going to sign up for a particular wiki project, and I want to make sure that you are aware that the wiki needs to be completed on the first day of the week that's assigned. So for example, if you are doing the Racing Against Your Heart presentation, that is due during week 2, but it needs to be up and completed by the beginning of week 2. So just something to be aware of as you are deciding when you want to sign up for things. Now, I have provided you with a sample of what these wikis should look like. So here we'll go to the UPR Week 1, Are You a Natural? Sample. Now, the real focus for this particular wiki is it addresses the strong role that genetics play. So this week we're looking at how gender and culture influence us, and this gets into how our genetics influence us, and perhaps maybe a little bit more of an influence than we might expect. Now, I have this in here because it is a demonstration of what's expected of you, and you can see that in this presentation I have some relevant images to address a particular background and purpose that's expected as a key component of this wiki presentation. I also have the methodology that was used, and to help you better understand the methodology, I've included a relevant video. I've also explained the video in the text that's important. Then I have provided you with the results as a graphic, but then I've also explained them in text form. And then I've also addressed the conclusions. What is the important points from this research study? How does this impact psychology, and how does this just impact us as a culture more generally? So all of these are key components of your wiki presentation. Now also at the end of all wiki presentations, whether I'm doing them or you're doing them, will be a single or several discussion questions. And then each of you are encouraged to respond to these discussion questions. There'll be a total of 10 UPR presentations this semester. You're expected to respond to 7 of them. To do that, you will hit comment, post your answer here, a paragraph or 2, and click add so that your comment will appear. And if you are the person who is managing the presentation for that week, this week of course I'm managing it, you are expected to respond, as I will this week, to what your peers have said. All right, that is all of our tasks for this week. This video is a little bit longer than it will be in the future because this is the first time around, but even though I've tried to address everything I can think of, I recognize there'll be many questions from you as well. So as questions come up, please go ahead and go to the discussion board and post a question on the course information discussion here, but if it's private and it's something you think only pertains to you, you're welcome to send me an email. I am excited to work with you this semester. Bye-bye.